Hi, welcome back to Skytania episode 32. So in the last episode, we were working on trying to automate netherrack and getting lava to do that. So I set up the rest of the crucibles. It's going better. You know, we've got a 75% jump in lava production, but it may not always be enough. I've noticed that whenever one of these big tanks is somewhat empty, we use a lot of it, that it seems like one of them gets prioritized and everything else that needs ender, that needs liquid, doesn't get it. So might have to do some tweaking on that or get faster lava production. There are some better ways to do this. We could get blazing pyrotheum, and instead of 4x rate, it'd be 15x rate. So that's an idea for the future. But right now, everything's fine. This guy is buffered full. The pipes are full. I converted all of that netherrack, or all the redstone to netherrack, so we've got that going, and it's ready to make more should we need that. So yeah, we can even stick another stack of redstone in there, and it should keep going. And there shouldn't be any problem with getting more of that. However, I've taken down the automated living room, automated pure daisy setup. It was really bugging me that it broke blocks, and I couldn't figure out any way to make it stop breaking blocks. And from some of the tutorials I watched, I was thinking this should work, but it doesn't. So I even tried some force relays. That didn't work either, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working until I learned this. In earlier versions of Botania, if you use the bore lens and the mana burst ended up at a mana pool, the mana pool would absorb that. However, that was not intended behavior. That ended up being wireless mana transfer, which was not intended behavior. So I don't know when that got fixed, but it is not in the 1.12 version of Botania, at least not the one we're playing. So you will never be able to collect a mana pulse with a bore lens of any kind in a mana pool. It will not happen. And by default, the pulse mana spreader has enough mana to break 6 blocks. And there's simply nothing you can do about that. So I was looking around some tutorials, seeing if anything that we could do to fix this. So I have come up with a design that merges some designs from Jancy, the design from Mischief of Mice, and a couple things that I'm adding that I hope will make it a little bit better. And in my test world, it only breaks 3 blocks, and they are within the area that we're working with. So as long as you only have air blocks there, and you will have air blocks there, it won't be a problem to have them there. This should work. So let's see if I can set that back up. So I made some of these force relays. A force relay is simply dropping a piston into a mana pool. And with the force relay, what you can do is, if you have a warp lens, it will, when a mana burst hits the force relay, it will be redirected, and the burst will continue as if it were at that block. I'm not sure what the range is, and that's it's kind of hard to explain, but it'll make more sense when we set them up. We're actually going to need 2 more force relays. These blocks I have right now are from my last design, which didn't work. So we need to get 2 more pistons. So let's get a couple of those. 1, 2. Okay, there we go. So they require about 1/8 of a mana pool, so lots of mana use for this, but we should have enough mana right now. And I believe that's all I needed from changing the design. Let's see here. I need to make the Solagnolia a floating Solagnolia, though. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So we're going to need any kind of flower. We'll need to get some glowstone with that. So should have some glowstone in here. Here we are. And then we need some dirt. It won't matter if I use the dirt on me because I've got the Rod of the Lands. So flour plus dirt plus... Do we have pasture seeds in here? I don't see any. Probably not. Let's get one transmuted. go. Alright, so there is a floating orange flower, making the floating Solagnolia. Now, you could put the Solagnolia elsewhere, it wouldn't have to be floating, but I want it in the center, and to be in the center, it's going to need to be a floating Solagnolia. So, there we go. Let's dump this wood somewhere for now. Maybe back in the base for a minute. And we'll come pick that up when we're ready for it. We don't have much wood right now, so gonna need to get a better tree farm, but we'll get there. Alright, so let's take a nap, because I didn't light up that area I broke, so that the monsters could spawn there. So let's do that real quick. Alright. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm gonna go out 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I'm going to go out 1, 2, 3 more. I'm not sure quite where it needs to be, but that should be fine if I put this as the corner. So there is the black wool that we're going to plant the blocks on. We will get a dirt block, and this is going to be where the pure daisy is going to go. Alright, so there we go, step 1. Step 2, we're going to set up the force relays, or we're going to place them anyway. Let's take some cobblestone. The primary force relays, and this is from Jancy's design, are going to go right here and right here. Now, my addition is putting them also, don't need that, need the cobblestone, putting them here and here. So, right here are the 3 blocks in this area, 1, 2, 3, that this system could break. So any blocks right here will be broken by this system, but that is it. So everything else should be fine. There can be a block here, there's no problem. There won't be any blocks, we can't break blocks back here. And I've done a bunch of testing. I think I've spent like an hour and a half on this, various designs, trying this out. So far, I think this is going to work. So, now we need to set up our pistons. I don't mean piston, I meant mana spreaders. So, where are those guys? Those are right here. So, they are going to be here and here. Not there. On the block I placed. And then we're going to bind them to the force relay that's diagonally across from them, across the spreader like this. So this one goes to this guy. So we're going to get these composite lenses of bore and warp. So the warp lens I made off camera during one of my failed designs. So it's just a lens with pixie dust. We made pixie dust when we first did Elven Trade. So that's how I got those, and then combine them with a slime ball. Make sure they end up being green. Bore lens has to come first. Alright, place the lens on both of these guys. So what's going to happen is every time it shoots a pulse, it's going to enter the force relay. The force relay can be bound to a block, and that's where the pulse will continue from on its same trajectory. So it'll be as if you fired a new pulse from the block you're binding it to. So again, we're taking these blocks, the force relays on the pure daisy diagonal, and binding them to the opposite one. So you right click, you don't shift right click. If you shift right click, that breaks it. And that is the only way to get these back without destroying them. If you mine with pickaxe, they're gone. And they cost a lot to make, so don't do that. So right click and bind them to the block that's in the center. We're going to make a block. We're going to make these 2 cobblestone blocks, bind them there. And then the other one is over here. And you can see that little particle effect telling you where it's bound to. Now both those pieces of stone could be broken, but we're not done yet. So what's going to happen is this guy is going to fire a pulse into this spreader. It's going to go in this trajectory, so in a diagonal like this, and then it is going to suddenly be here, going the same way. So in the same diagonal over here. And when that happens, it's going to hit this force relay. And what we'll do then is bind this guy also to the diagonal block. Same thing for that one. And that is basically going to dissipate the rest of the mana. I wasn't sure that would work, but so far my testing has proved out that it does. So, yay, hope I am proven right about that long term rather than like a 10-minute test. Okay, so the mana pools for these guys are going to go right on top. I don't want them to go on bottom because I'm actually going to place the hovering hourglass right here. And we're going to use this area as another relay. So this is going to trigger both of these pulse mana spreaders. And then we're going to go over here. And I need to go, I think, one farther. Let's see here. I need to have 2 blocks. Doesn't matter what they are, as long as they'll conduct redstone. This one needs to be farther up than this one. So yeah, this is right. We need to take one of the repeaters and put him in here. And then we're going to have redstone like this. So in this corner and 2 down. Then we're going to take the comparators, face it into the block, and then away from the block. And again, I do not understand this at all. I am not a vanilla redstone expert. This is from Mischief of Mice. I don't know if he took it from somewhere or what, but whatever. Somehow, this is enough of a delay to drop 8 items in a hopper, which that just feels magic. I don't know how that works. So, we're going to have the open crate be right here, and we'll feed the hopper into the open crate. So the open crate will not drop anything because it is done. But as soon as this guy pulses, he will drop exactly 8 items. So we're going to break the block under there so it has somewhere to actually drop stuff. And then we're going to place the Rhanon Carpus. So I want to place the Rhanon Carpus right here. So we need a dirt block. Unless you make him floating. If you make him floating, you can place the black wool here. But if he's not floating, it has to be planted on dirt, then we need to place the wool block 1 down. So there's the black wool, same as that black wool, which is how the Rhanon Carpus knows where to plant things. Let's take some dirt. And let's see, where's the Rhanon Carpus? Here it is. Alright, so next I need to place the Hopper Hawk. Now, originally, I had him placed right here. Well, I'm a little bit confused as to what the problem was. It looks like this will be fine here, although I placed him in the floor before, and there was a reason I moved him. So, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, place the Hopper Hawk there. We're going to put these guys right here. Did I want the Solagnolia there? I mean, I do, but it doesn't really matter if it were... Alright. Let me move this down 1. That's the way I had it in my original design, and I'm a little bit worried to change anything because the design pretty much worked. So let's break this guy and put some dirt there. So here's where the Hopper Hawk's going to be. Let's see here. Let me make sure that I'm binding these guys properly. So let's break you and place you. And you are bound to that guy. And if I place you, you're bound to that guy. And there are no other flowers right now that can be bound, so that's fine. Okay, so here is our chest again. And we'll place item frames on both sides. Piece of living rock over here. Piece of living wood over here. Doesn't matter which way you do it, just as long as, you know, those are there. And then to prevent our magnet from taking things, I'm going to put the floating solagnolia right there. I think that's going to be okay. I think. I tested this, but didn't do a lot of testing with the floating solagnolia, so that may end up moving, but it's looking okay to me right now. So hopefully I'm not wrong about that. Okay, so what are you bound to? That guy as well? That's what I want. So let's break this guy now. Don't need him, just need to bind the flowers to nothing so they wouldn't use mana. So now we're going to take our mana tablets, singular, and we're going to fill up these pools. Alright. Yep, they're both full. Alright, I believe that is everything we need except for either some stone or some wood. So let's go get some wood and make sure that happens. Alright, so there we go. Stack of oak wood. So I'm going to put all but 8 of those in the hopper. We are going to toss down these for the random carpus. So make sure it plants those. Looking good. So let's turn the timer on. I've got 8 pieces of red sand for 80 seconds. Takes 60 seconds to convert. 7 is probably fine. You know, I don't think it ever take more than 10 seconds, but just as a safety measure, I've got it 8, and 10 more seconds for a delay shouldn't matter that much. Okay, so all we have to do now is wait, watch, and see what happens. And hopefully, the answer is nothing. Let me go ahead and place some blocks here, and you will see what it breaks and what it does not break. So, there we go. Yeah. Alright. Everything is being converted. 15 seconds or so, we should be seeing these get broken. And what's going to happen is it's going to send them to the force relay, break everything, bounce off the other force relay, and end up in the center doing nothing. There we go. You can see it broke that. And it broke 2 of the blocks. One of the problems with, you know, it would have broken all 3 of them. It just didn't have enough mana left in the burst. So it broke the blocks that it could break with the pulse, with the mana it had left before being relayed. But it will break all 3 of these blocks. But even if there are no blocks here to be transformed, it won't break any of the other ones. I'm wondering... Oh, that probably got re-picked up by the other guy. Have I done something wrong to make that happen? I think it's okay, but I might raise the hopper hawk up and see what happens. Okay, another 15 seconds or so. Should see all the blocks being broken. There we go. They all get broken. Hopefully they're all taken up. There we go. And you can see that other cobblestone block was broken as well. So I don't know where it went, but maybe, oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, but even after all this is done, it will not break more. So let me take the rest of these out of here, and let me take this red sand, and let's go get a couple pieces of sand, maybe 5. That'll give us a 5-second delay, and it will generate lots of mana pulses, and hopefully I can demonstrate that it will not break anything other than those 3 blocks, even when nothing else is being placed there by the random carpus. Okay, so there we go. 5 seconds, let it break these guys. Okay. Alright, so that's the rest of that. So, when everything is done and we have nothing else to transmute, let's see what happens when we just keep sending mana pulses. What I want to see is nothing but these 3 blocks being broken. You can see they're all broken. Random carpus is going to plant those. That's okay though. And yeah, no matter how many times this thing fires out, we're not breaking any more blocks. So we have now created a little 3-block buffer zone of safety for when everything is done. And that is an improved design for the automated Pure Daisy. So, hope you enjoyed that, because I worked very hard to get that working right, because that was really difficult to get it to work, because, you know, I had a lot of information that I didn't realize was not correct. So there we go. I don't think I'll transmute any more wood right now because we're very low on actual wood. So I think it's time to get back to working on refined storage. So yeah. And yeah, these will empty out eventually and just, you know, go to nothing. The only way I know how to stop it is take the sand out. So we could actually, let me get a lever. The sand will still go, but maybe if we can stop both of those pulse methods, we could like at least turn it off. I would need another piece of redstone. Hey, I have one. I don't see that working. So I'm guessing this is not going up to this block, which makes sense. Okay, that won't work. We could use structural ducts with redstone relays instead. And I may do that, but these are diluted mana pools. They use very, very little mana, so I'm not too worried about letting it run out. So, yeah. We'll leave that for there. It's good to know that didn't work, but I was hoping it would, but wasn't sure that it would. So, okay. We should put the sand back. Don't want a 5-second timer, want a 80-second timer for if we actually want to use this, if we want to use that system again someday. Alright, put the wood back, the sand, the lever, redstone torch. Keep one of those guys on me for now. And there we go. Takes care of that. Hey, maybe I should build a platform in the nether and see if that ignum actually works. It's not a bad idea. Test that out. Just make sure that it works. I'm not sure we'll actually use that, but it's an idea. Yeah, let me go build a platform, and I'll be right back, and we'll see if that flower will work in the nether. Alright, so here we are in the pretty much empty nether. I don't really know what spawning rules are here. I'm not sure if anything will spawn, if I have to be 24 blocks away, if gas will spawn. I don't really know. So I've got a platform though, so at least got that going. So let's see if we can plant this flower down. Gonna need a mana pool for it, so I brought this. Is that where I want that? Nah. Let's see here. We're gonna need the rod of the lands to get a piece of dirt. 2, 3, 4, 5. So here is our flower. Let's rebind him because he probably didn't get bound. There we go. Okay, so I brought part of a mana tablet, or a lot of a mana tablet anyway. So let's say, yeah, tablet to pools. Alright, he now has mana. Let's not dump the whole thing until I'm sure it's going to work. Oh, it does work. Okay, so this is more like the orchid in the normal overworld, the normal non-evolved orchid or non-garden of glass orchid. It does take a second before it transforms stuff. Now the only thing that this thing can make is nether quartz ore. So that's all it's going to do. It will convert netherrack to quartz ore. So that was the point of this. It would be automatable though. I think we could definitely do something with this. We'd have to get mana over here, and I don't know how much it will be, but we do have this. Without Silk Touch, we're just going to have to break this and get the regular stuff. Looks like it's already used up, so that little bit we did for 4 blocks. So, not a great return on investment, but not sure how much I dumped in there either, so. Alright, so there we go. That's the Orchid Ignum. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. If you did not, really? You didn't like this episode? This episode was great. I solved a problem that I could not find a solution for on the internet. That's huge. You should like this. Alright, I am done arguing with imaginary people. Thanks for watching. See you next time.